Greetings to everyone. Welcome to the No DQ live recap of SmackDown. The date, easy to remember. Why, it's Friday the 13th, 2019. We have WWE TLC this coming Sunday live on the WWE Network for the low price of $9.99 or free if you're a new subscriber. All right, so enough of that. Hello, everybody. It is, in fact, me, in case you were wondering. Let's go ahead and talk about SmackDown. I will also give my final thoughts on the TLC pay-per-view. Not really that much else to say, though, because WWE really did not add much to TLC on this show. I thought maybe we would get one or two more matches, but no. We got an extra stipulation, which I'll discuss, but I think that's about it. Anyways, if you guys enjoy this video, please do me a favor and share it. Send a link to this video to your friends. Post it on social media. Whatever you can do to spread the word, I would really appreciate it. Anyways, we kicked off SmackDown Live, or just SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown, whatever you want to call it these days. SmackDown kicked off with, what else? A recap of the Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns drama. Last week we saw the dog food poured onto poor Roman. This week Baron Corbin came out with his throne. He had security with him because he sensed Roman Reigns would try to get revenge. The big dog, unhinged, whatever WWE was referring to it as. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat, first one of the evening, says, are you going to watch or review NWA Into the Fire? No, not really interested. To be perfectly honest, and I know this is off topic here, but I just want to say real quick, I'm kind of over the NWA Power already. I watched it and it's entertaining, but not enough to get me invested in watching it on a regular basis. I like what they did with the promos. It had a nice novelty feel to it, but, you know, to me it had a shelf life, and I've moved on. So there's too much wrestling content. I got to focus on the other stuff, with all due respect to the guys and gals in the NWA. Moving on here back to SmackDown. Baron Corbin talked about how he is going to make the big dog bow down to him at the TLC pay-per-view. Dolph Ziggler said something was smelling. He wasn't sure if it was the people or the dog food. Baron Corbin said that basically every window, every entrance in the building was covered by security. Roman was not going to get to them. Crowd chanted, "You look stupid," at Corbin. And then Ziggler started doing the old Booker T. Sharmell line, "All hail King Corbin." This led to the New Day coming out, and we had Big E refer to Baron Corbin as the Burger King. What is this, 1993 with the King? Back then it was Jerry Lawler being called the Burger King, and now Baron Corbin is the Burger King. Okay. Baron Corbin brought up how Kofi lost to Brock Lesnar in 7 seconds, to which Kofi was like, hey, it was more like 8 seconds. That was so funny. Kofi said he's still a champion of the people. And then Kofi said that Baron Corbin is looking really stupid, and he damn sure ain't a king because he doesn't have honor and all that stuff. Baron Corbin said that Kofi had one good day in his career, and that's when Kofi decided to slap him. Truth hurts, I guess. Baron Corbin said that Kofi will be humiliated in the main event just like Roman Reigns. I thought we were going to get a tag match right there on the spot, but we'll get to that later. Power Packers 90 with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. He says, super chatting at the show. Cannot wait for the Fiend Dark match. Oh, Power Packers 90 is at SmackDown, which surprises me because Power Packers 90 has been such a big supporter of AEW, and he's giving that evil Vince McMahon money. Interesting, Power Packers, but I hope you're having a great time. We had a recap, speaking of The Fiend, well, not really. We had a recap of Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt, and The Miz from last week, all that drama that unfolded. Then we had Corbin and Ziggler backstage, and they found out that the security guys were all laid out. One guy was put through a table. Pure carnage in the locker room. We all knew where this was going, but, you know, it's one of those throwbacks to the old Attitude Era days where Steve Austin would go on a rampage taking out everybody, only this is not nearly as well done or entertaining. We had Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville up against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Alexa cut a promo backstage before the match in the gorilla position. She called Mandy Rose a bully and then was promptly attacked by Mandy and Sonya Deville, and they all ended up fighting by the staging area. Alexa and Nikki fought back, and that set up the match. We finally got the match going, which the babyfaces won. Nikki Cross pinned Sonya. Pretty short match here, just a couple minutes. Pinned her with the neck breaker. We had Sami Zayn running into heavy machinery backstage. It was revealed that Otis is Sami's secret Santa. And Otis had a present for Mr. Zayn, which was a Christmas ham. Zayn was very offended by this. He said it is the worst, easily the worst Christmas gift he has ever gotten, and he's vegan. And Otis should have known. Otis said he was sorry, and Sami responded to the apology by calling him a dumb oaf. That's when Cesaro and Shin came in to back up Sami Zayn, and a tag team match was set up for later. And to add insult to injury, Cesaro took the ham and threw it down to the ground. That son of a bitch. This was a pretty entertaining segment. Sami Zayn's always great, and crowd loves Otis. Otis is a lot of fun, and throwing down the ham, nice touch there by Cesaro. The dastardly act to throw down that ham. It was the thought that counted, that no-good bastard. Next up, we had Shorty Ali G, Boomyaka Shah, versus The Revival. Not much to say about this either. Actually, the only interesting thing really to note was that Dash tripped over the stage as he was coming out. You know, the way they have the stage set up with those pillars. He tripped over one of them coming out. That was the highlight of the match. I mean, the match was fine, and the crowd even did a "This is awesome" chant, but I mean, it's one of those matches where you get like one or two near falls and the crowd just starts "This is awesome." You know, really wasn't awesome. It was good, but awesome. You know, I think the fans were just, you know, they're there at the event live. They're in the heat of the moment, and they see a couple kick outs and they get all worked up. So there you go. That's what this match was. Shatter Machine out of nowhere. They beat Ali, and Revival build up some momentum heading into this Sunday's pay-per-view. We had Bayley interviewed backstage. She talked about how she wasted years of her career doing what the people wanted, but now she's doing things for her. She said that her and Sasha are the best, and Lacey Evans, the lady, picked a fight with the wrong people. She knocked on the wrong door, apparently. We then had an interruption from Elias, who was there with Dana Brooke. You know, for somebody who's really interested in Batista, Dana Brooke seems to be hanging out with Elias a lot. Elias had a song for Bayley because he was Bayley's Secret Santa. And the song went like this. Bayley's face haunts me like the ghost of Christmas past. And then Elias also had a line about turning down a threesome between him, Bayley, and Sasha. And then the final line was how ever since Bayley got that haircut, she looks like a dude. Bayley got angry because Dana was laughing at all this. And Bayley ended up facing Dana in a match which was very short, basically a squash. Bayley picked up the win. Easy peasy, and that was that. We had another recap of The Miz and Bray Wyatt stuff. And then we had another Sheamus promo. SmackDown has changed in his absence. Now it has a bunch of wimps and weaklings. And he's going to bring back the heart to SmackDown. And he's looking for somebody to pick a fight. Actually, no, we didn't say that last part. I just threw that in there. Next up, we had Renee Young interviewing The Miz in his mansion in Los Angeles. The Miz was asked about Daniel Bryan. Miz has not seen or heard from Bryan. And then Renee mentioned Talking Smack, and we saw the footage from that classic segment between The Miz and Daniel Bryan. And Renee was like, why the change of heart? Miz said that other and the worst out of each other, but now he understands Bryan's value to SmackDown, and he respects Bryan. Even though they're not friends, he does respect him. And Miz said it's time to do the right thing. Then Bray Wyatt was brought up. Miz said that Wyatt has been playing mind games, but he crossed the line when he made it personal, and he had no choice but to accept the TLC match. Miz said family is the most important thing to him, but he doesn't know what Bray Wyatt is capable of. And then Renee asked the $1 million question, are you afraid? And before Miz could answer it, Maurice started screaming. She showed Miz the iPad, which had footage of the Firefly Funhouse, and it appeared that the Fiend had invaded. Monroe Sky's bedroom. So Miz and Maurice ran upstairs. Monroe Sky was in there. There was no Fiend. However, the doll was there, apparently given to her by the Fiend. The kid was upset. Maurice was upset. Miz screamed at the camera crew to get the hell out of there. Interview over. And then we had a Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt. Bray said he was just trying to be nice, and he told Miz, you can train yourself to not feel pain at all, and you can also do that with love. And Bray is going to teach that to the Miz at TLC. All Miz has to do is let him in. Pretty good stuff here. A little bit over the top, but it was fine, building up this match on short notice. I still wish the WWE title was on the line. Like, I would feel more invested, even though I don't see Miz winning. They're still not doing a title match, and apparently it's Mr. Rogers Bray against the Miz. So I'm still confused about that, but I thought it was decent build up. I thought it was fine for what it was. And then we had Baron Corbin and Ziggler backstage again. Corbin's throne had been tipped over, and more of the security guys were knocked out. So they were getting upset because Roman Reigns was apparently somewhere in the building, just did not know where. We then had the tag team match, Heavy Machinery versus Cesaro, along with Shinsuke Nakamura, or as Michael Cole likes to refer to him as, Shin. Sami Zayn was out there. Heavy Machinery came out with the cheese hats. Crowd loves Otis, like I said earlier. They were chanting, we want Otis. Otis got the hot tag. He was getting all jiggy with it. He screamed, I'm coming. I thought that was MVP's line, by the way. Cesaro ended up saving Shin from the compactor. And then Otis was going to go for the caterpillar, but Sami Zayn got on the apron, got a lot of heat for that. And then, bam, Kinshasa to Tucker, and the heels pick up the victory. Then we had the main event of the evening, Kofi Kingston, former WWE champion, versus King Baron Corbin. Kofi came out with his pancakes, of course, because that's what Kofi does. Baron Corbin walked out. He had no throne. He still had some security guys left. Crowd was chanting STD and Burger King. Again, the old Jerry Lawler chant coming back to Corbin now in 2019. Ziggler ended up being thrown out of the arena by the referee, but Ziggler defied the referee, came back. There was a huge brawl, disqualification, and Holla, 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 players. You know how this goes down. And here's the thing, to quote Jeff Meacham, this is how I knew this was going this route. I mean, I figured it at the beginning of the show, and then they announced the singles match, but two things. First of all, the match started at 10 or 9:30. So you still have a half hour left of SmackDown for this main event. Baron Corbin and Kofi Kingston aren't going that long. That's the first thing. Second thing is, and this is the more annoying thing, which WWE could very easily fix, but they choose not to. I guess because they think fans are stupid and don't pay attention, but I do. Ziggler came out in his ring gear. At the beginning of the show, he was in his street clothes, and now all of a sudden he's in his ring gear. I mean, come on now. Come on, as Nakamura would say. You know what happens when this goes down, when we get a singles match, DQ, turned into a tag team match? Letter grade goes down. That's right. Letter grade goes automatically down when this happens because I'm sick and tired of it. It's so lazy, the writing, and it just drags out the show. Not a fan of it. Just do a tag match and do some other segments. Maybe announce another match or build up another match. Something like that instead of waiting until Saturday to announce the rest of the card or even Sunday. Like, how about just building up Lacey Evans and Bayley or something? Set up another match. Why did we need this to be dragged out for so long? Rant over. We came back from commercial. We had the tag team match. Corey Graves was funny. He's like, I wasn't wishing for tag team action. I agree with that, Corey. And then Bobby Roode was brought up, who was suspended, by the way. Michael Cole said Roode is still out injured. And then Dolph Ziggler brought out the handcuffs that they used last week on the big dog Roman Reigns. Another disqualification with the handcuffs being brought into the ring. Big E got taken out with a super kick. Crowd was chanting for Roman. Revival showed up. They gave the Shatter Machine to Big E on the floor. And then Baron Corbin brought out the dog food. And that's when, holy crap, big surprise, everybody. Nobody saw this coming. Roman Reigns comes out. Roman comes down, fights off the Revival and the security. Corbin ends up brawling with Reigns. Corbin has the scepter. Reigns fights him off with the Superman punch, but then Reigns gets hit with a super kick by Dolph Ziggler, and then Reigns is laid out on the table. Ziggler sets up a ladder. He's climbing the ladder. He's about to jump off when all of a sudden Big E makes the save. Ziggler's distracted. Reigns gets up on the ladder, choke slams Dolph off the ladder through the table, and Roman's music plays, and Baron Corbin is beside himself. And that, my friends, was the end of SmackDown. Honestly, I thought it was a pretty boring run-of-the-mill show to set up the pay-per-view. I thought the Miz, Bray Wyatt stuff was pretty good, but Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin did nothing for me. Dr. NXT Scorpio says, so Corbin is winning at TLC. Not necessarily, and as Big G pointed out, if this match is just pinfall, there's no climbing the ladder for anything, I definitely don't see Reigns losing. Like, I felt like in a match where you have to climb up and grab something, you could possibly have Reigns screwed, but I don't see Reigns getting pinned, especially with WrestleMania season coming up this soon. So I'm giving SmackDown a C-, a little bit below average. To me, pretty lackluster. Weak build up for TLC. Just wasn't feeling it all that much. Let's see what you guys thought in the chat room. Christopher Mace gives it a big fat D, and Mick gives it a C-. Mike B with a C+, Joseph with a C-, Dr. NXT Scorpio with a C, Tic Tat Tat with a C+, Kev Dog with a C-, Daniel with a D, Curtis Butler with a D, and Michael Wayne liked it a little bit more with a B, Calvin Bowman with a C-, and CC Drink with a C+, Bruce Marvel with a C. So a lot of C's for WWE SmackDown this week. Gary with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Gary. He says, Is it Wednesday? I need my dose of AEW. SmackDown gets a D-. Ouch. They did set up the ladder match between the Revival and New Day. So we're getting 3 matches now with ladders. Talk about overkill. I mean, come on now. I mean, I'm sure it'll be great, but do we really need 3 matches now with a ladder in it? Why not just go the TNA route and make the whole damn pay-per-view ladder matches? Remember Lockdown? Which, by the way, I wasn't a fan of that concept of having every match be a cage match. I thought it very much watered down the stipulations. So it's me just being sarcastic. Don't do that. Like, we don't need 3 ladder matches on the show. And Ken terminated by Google with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Ken. He says, do you feel sorry for Lana for the death threats? I don't know if you nor Caitlin watched the Pitch Perfect series, but I heard CJ, aka Lana, was Faye Dunaway in those films. By the way, Rift, thank you for being a gentleman. Well, I try, Ken. I try to be the best gentleman I can. You know, I went to the same etiquette school that the Three Stooges went to become a gentleman. And as far as Lana goes, I mean, that's part of the job when you're a public figure and you're in WWE where you're playing a villain. You're going to have fans that are going to message you saying stupid shit. It's just going to happen. And even though we all know wrestling's staged, you know those fans out there where it's still real to them, damn it. And they'll go on Twitter and they'll troll and they'll say, I wish you die and you suck and all that stuff. And, you know, they'll call her all those obscene things, you know, calling her a slut and so forth. So it's just part of the job, part of the nature of the beast. I feel like she's probably just bringing it up for publicity, to get people talking, to get the headlines and that sort of thing. I would be surprised if it like legitimately bothers her because, I mean, you gotta be somewhat thick-skinned. But then again, she has no DQ blocked on Twitter, so maybe she's not that thick-skinned. Who knows? Mike Nixon says, watch, Roman and Corbin have to grab dog food at the top of the ladder, Aaron. I like it. They should have done that. Dog food at the top of the... Oh my God, that sounds so bad, but they should have just done that. If whoever grabs the dog food, you pour it on your opponent, and that's how you win the match. That is something Vince Russo would love. And by the way, Vince Russo, the offer is still on the table to come on the No DQ review or do a video with us. I know Virtue would love it. Got that suggestion the other day. I'm all for it if Vince Russo wants to do it, bro. Michael Wayne says the Lana storyline is boring. Well, to each their own. I've been entertained by it. To me, it's been one of the best things at WWE television, other than NXT, of course. I mean, as far as Raw and SmackDown go. But I give the edge to Raw this week, even though Raw's a 3-hour show. Like, the game is on 100 says, did you get the super chat from me? Let me see. Did I miss it? Did I miss one from the game is on 100? I did not get one from you, Game is on. I just checked on here. Did not see anything. And yeah, Calvin, I do remember the British Bulldog and Ken Shamrock with the dog food. And that caused Ken to snap. That was a pretty entertaining storyline. Although I don't really think they followed up on the stipulation. I think the loser was supposed to eat a can of dog food, and I don't remember if that actually happened or not. I don't remember. I don't think they did, actually. But yeah, that would have been funny, like dog food at the top or dog food on a pole match between Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin. I mean, they might as well have done that at this point. But I mean, overall, the storyline hasn't bothered me that much. It's just like, you know, the whole thing, oh, Roman's going to come and attack them at the end of the show. I mean, come on now. It's just so repetitive, and it's just the same old crap over and over. Macaroni Tony, are you in the Christmas spirit? Well, I'm in the Friday the 13th spirit right now because it is Friday the 13th after all. And Gary with a $2 super chat says, not much, but want to send you and Caitlin Xmas love, bro. Well, thank you very much for that, Gary. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And thank you all for watching and supporting NoDQ.com in 2019. Looking forward to 2020. And of course, this Sunday we got TLC. I'll be back to do live coverage for that. And next week we got the final AEW and NXT. So we still got some more content before the year wraps up. If you guys enjoyed this video, again, please tell a friend, spread the word. That's the best way you can help out the channel. Just tell a friend, somebody who watches wrestling. Say, hey, check out NoDQ.com. Aaron Riff does some cool videos. Whatever you got to do to get them to watch, do it. Oversell me if you have to. But guys, I'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Have a great and safe holiday season to everyone out there. I'll see you guys on Sunday for TLC coverage. NoDQ.com for results and all the latest breaking news. Stay tuned for all that. And I will see you guys next time.